It's a triple double when they know they in trouble. Going ape shit, whole city like a jungle. I'm the missing piece to the puzzle. Turn up the hustle with the ashy knuckles. Compare me to zero like the jersey on Russell. You know
What's going on, everybody? This is After Hours Live for the Man Cave. This is your host, Tay Wicks.
You got your co-host Mark Senior.
Hey, man, long time no see. We back in the lab. Everybody asking, hey, what's going on with the pod? I see, guess what, man? Just like Joel Santana and me and Marcus, man. He Joel's, I'm Cameron with the game. We sorry, this is what the game been missing. It's a lot to catch up on, man. All-Star game just passed in Cleveland. And my fellow teammate right now here, Marcus. I mean, give us the rundown how you enjoyed your Saturday night, first and foremost.
So I was able to take the junior to Saturday night, All-Star weekend. It was a vibe the whole time. That the city was humming. It really did a great job at hosting all the events, but Saturday night, um, it was lit. I mean, the the skills competition, the Cavs represented. They won that. That was the new format they had for that was very fun to watch, very interesting. The 3-point contest, I always love the 3-point contest. That was surprising. A big man won it. Carl Anthony Towns, he won it. And then they had the little transition show with Khaled, and he brought out Wayne and Mary J. Blige, Gunna, Lil Baby. It was like a real concert in there. So of course everybody was pumped up for that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
S&P.
Yup. And then the dunk contest though, the dunk contest. It was a slight disappointment. Slight disappointment. I don't think they had the right dunkers in there. Besides the person who won, Obi Toppin, I think his dunks was legit. But everyone else, they just couldn't, get the dunks cleared in their first attempt. And that ain't had nothing to do with Cleveland. It's just that's just how the dunk contest is. Every 5 or 6 years you get a good one, and then for the most part, a lot of them be duds. So, I mean, I thought it was cool. I didn't get to go to Friday or Sunday. I ain't got it like that. So I just went to Saturday night.
Now, by you participating in the Saturday night with the slam dunk contest, we've been watching these for the last couple of years now, and I think every year I'm not gonna say worse, it's been on a decline. So
Mhm.
when you're looking for certain people to come out there and do their thing, it's like you gotta be creative. Like we've seen everything. How many times are these guys gonna go between their legs? I'm
Right.
I'm not
Between your
wild by that.
legs, windmills, off the backboard. Those the same dunks that they all do.
Right. I'm just looking like I need some creativity. I see better stuff than this on TNT after they be having their own little street dunk offs. I seen better
Mm.
competition than that, and I don't see the
Um,
same. I mean, they did put some real dunkers in there. I would love to see John
um,
Morant in the dunk
oh
contest.
yeah, for sure.
I believe, like you said, that guy just learned how to dunk. I think it was like senior year of high school, which is unheard of. So the guy
Wow.
is taking flight, and he's an up and rising star. Um, I just feel like the judges. It's time to get some new judges. Um, to me
Mhm.
personally, Dr. J, like I thought he's about to go to sleep up there a couple of times. I just think it's time for a new look. I think we just need some new bloods to be judges. I
Mhm.
want to see somebody like a Vince Carter to be a judge, a Jason Richardson, a Nate Robinson.
Yeah,
Three
people who
time.
actually won the dunk
Right,
contest,
right,
right?
right. It's time to pass the torch to some to
Hmm.
some younger guys and some fresh minds. With that being said, we know the All Star game was in Cleveland, and we knew that LeBron James. They asked him. We know every time you turned the radio on, we heard the slogan "Cleveland,
This
this
is
is for you." You know what the crazy part is about that slogan? I live here in Charlotte. I am from Cleveland, but our DJ who plays R&B music at a certain time, LeBron James is his favorite player, and I hear that all the time because
He
he's a
just come
LeBron.
on and add it
Yeah,
to his mix.
yeah. I'm gonna say, look, Cleveland, this is for you. So when I look at certain situations like that, where LeBron James said he wouldn't mind coming back home to play. So
Mhm.
Marcus, when you heard that, we already know LeBron James is 37 years old. You know,
True.
he's not on the upside. He's on a declining side
Downside, right?
of his career. Yeah, the numbers speak for it, but LeBron ain't got that lift no more. The speed is the same. Look, we seen games where LeBron James actually literally put his head down and take off running fast.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the same young grasshopper that he was. So Marcus, how would you feel LeBron James did come back to the Cleveland Cavaliers the year after next?
I mean, I would be all right with it. I mean, I think he should retire in Cleveland anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they should trade anybody for him.
Mm-hmm.
And if he come back, he should uh like not let to. I mean, he LeBron James, so it's kind of hard to say that. He should kind of let the young guys that they've been building up kind of lead the team,
Yeah.
and he just kind of direct them. Kind of like Chris Paul in Phoenix.
Right.
He really let Devin Booker run the show, but he Chris Paul, so he gonna be good regardless. So he gonna get his shine regardless. But it's really Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, like team. Like it, if they good, then the team good, and then Chris Paul just like the cherry on top. So if LeBron come back, he got to play more of a role like that.
Right.
In my opinion.
So more come off the bench role as that veteran.
I mean, he can even start. I mean, it just he just can't be dominating the ball. Yeah.
And that's another reason too. I see why the Lakers losing all the games. Like LeBron James is a 6'8", 6'9", whatever, 275 specimen out there. Well, you got a guy of his stature that's pounding the rock, and a lot of guys get lost on offense. It's stagnant. There's no flow. There's no continuity. Everybody sit back and just like watch LeBron James. It's like you outside washing the car, and everybody just watch the car.
Right.
So yeah, it's gonna be spotless clean. Nobody's healthy.
Right.
I think LeBron James needs to come off the ball a little bit more, trust his teammates more. Not say he don't trust them. That might be another reason why Russ can't really play like you want to, because now Russ is the guy who used to having this ball in his hand 30 times a game. So you take that ball away from him. Once he get the ball, he does stuff that's uncharacteristic. So you look at he's very, very like bad habits with the ball. It's like it's not there. He's a turnover machine. I think they said for every 3 possessions, Russ going to have a turnover.
Everything that sounds about right.
So when I look at that coming from him, I know we everywhere, and we know he's supposed to be sticking to the All-Star game. But when I look at LeBron James and how he dominates the ball, it's like you're going into a fight and you're not using all your weapons. Like all these guys is creative. How can these guys stay in that creative mode when your main star is pound, pound, pound?
Yeah, I think at the beginning of this season, like at the same time the Russell Westbrook trade went through, it was another trade that was reported first, which was Buddy Hield. I can't remember who from the Lakers was involved in the trade, and I think that was a better fit. I think LeBron passes the ball more when he got shooters around him or guys that's capable of scoring. So like if you look at the year they went in the bubble, and when AD was playing out of his mind, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was hitting, Danny Green was hitting, like all their shooters was on. So it kind of led to them, LeBron being more of a facilitator at times, and then knowing when to take over. And he was like 2 to 3 years younger on top of that. And it was a year, Kobe died in the season. So it was like that was a tragedy, but it kind of motivated them to win.
Yeah. You know what's so crazy too though about that, Marcus? When you look at Anthony Davis, right? Everybody know what I call Anthony Davis, AD. Always damage. And the sad part about it is I got a 7 foot or 6'11" guy out there hooping in low top basketball shoes. Hear me out. We can name some greatest basketball players of all time. So, Shaq, high
Shaq.
tops. Patrick Ewing, high tops. Akeem Olajuwon, high tops. Alonzo Mourning,
Mhm.
high tops. The guy is fragile, and he's keep hurting his ankles.
He's definitely
Anthony
fragile.
Davis need to be in the high top basketball shoes. Look at Jokic, high top. Rudy Gobert, high
High
top.
tops.
Uh, even
Yeah.
Carl Anthony Towns,
High
high
tops.
tops. You're in the paint, you're banging, you're grabbing rebounds, you're going to twist the
You need some
ankle,
grippers.
but you are more prone to injure your ankle in a low top shoe, and he's a big man at that. So every
Mhm.
time when he came back from that injury, he was putting up MVP numbers within that 2 week span. He was averaging pretty much 30 and 14, what they needed in 2.5 blocks.
All right.
I thought, okay, I said, okay, the Lakers about to take a turn. But every time you make that turn, somebody get hurt. I think this year I've never seen Lakers win no more than 4 games in a row. If they did, they win 4, they lose 3. Come back and win 2, lose 2. So this is a subpar 500 team who's not.
Mhm.
If they make the playoffs, I think people should be scared to play them. But
Mhm.
I'm looking at their roster. I'm looking at DeAndre Jordan. Nobody's not scared of you. Dwight Howard. Nobody's scared of you. LeBron James. They not scared of you. Russ.
Mhm.
They definitely not scared of you. And the reason I'm saying nobody's not scared of Russ because I remember Russ had this quote like a couple of seasons ago said Patrick Beverly, all he do is run around and foul people. And I was looking over Patrick Beverly tweet like 2 weeks ago said they're like Russell Westbrook, all he do is run around and turn the ball. I said,
He got his way. He had that in him. But how long he been sitting on that that tweet?
he couldn't wait. He couldn't wait. And I think too, when we watched the Lakers play like a Russell Westbrook, I think Russell was pressing too hard to appease the accommodating home team.
Mhm.
Slow it
I think
down,
so
let the
too.
game come to you.
I agree with that because he just has so much energy. I
Mhm.
can't remember what game, but that was on TNT. And Shaq mentioned like he had went to the game before, and Russ came over and talked to him, and he told him, he got to slow it down. He only play at one pace,
Right.
and that's like forcing things. Like if he had a change of pace, he would have far less turnovers for
Right.
one, because he would have time to see the floor better, and two, he wouldn't. He would be playing within his physical limits now because he's getting up there too. He can't continue to run up and down, hit the floor, get up. You know, he got to play within his physical limits and to the skill set of his team. Like they an older team, they can't be up and running down like that. They trade all the young players for him.
Right. And I'm looking, man, who is the shooting coach for the Lakers? Can y'all please stop letting Russell Westbrook shooting these 15 footers off the glass? Them boys
He
hitting the
trying to
top of
get.
the shot clock, the side of the backboard. Somebody told him he was a new Tim Duncan. It works in practices, Russ, but it's not
Nah,
actually
it was
working into the
not
game plan.
working.
Uh,
Him and actually who was Kyrie Irving, he makes his though, but they the only players I know that go for that 15-footer off the glass, and Russ just he hasn't mastered it, but he think he has. He
and
thinks he has though.
I seen one day he shot the ball off the side of the backboard. It hit like the side of the rubber piece. And I seen Frank Vogel put his head down like they had LeBron on the bench too. LeBron was like,
I don't know what to do. Like I don't know
right.
what to
And
do. I
I
wanted
think
him here.
right. I think the one thing that is keeping the Lakers where they should be at, I mean, Austin Reeves and Malik Monk.
Yeah, they've been
They've been
keeping
holding it
them
down.
afloat for real.
And it's Stanley Johnson on the defensive side. So I'm looking at Avery Bradley. He come back. He's not the same Avery Bradley. He plays defense. I'm looking at Trevor Ariza. He's not the same. He's on a
Oh, these
decline.
old guys, man, old
Yeah.
guys.
Dwight Howard. He's on a decline. DeAndre Jordan just there to be there. It's just time for a new look. Start playing some of your younger guys. See what you can get out. Start calling some guys up for the G League. The
Mhm.
Lakers. I think it's gonna be a tough bid, but I do want to get into this one. We're gonna switch topics. We're gonna go
Okay.
from this Brooklyn Nets to the 76ers. Wow. I
Wow.
love it. Who you think won that trade, Marcus?
Um, I mean, I think it was pretty even, but I think over time, Brooklyn Nets won the trade. And here's why: is Ben Simmons is younger than
Mm-hmm.
James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's not the shooter
Mm-hmm.
or scorer as James Harden. We all know this, but he's a defender. He can run the floor. I mean, I said that he a defender. Like he's one of the best defenders in the NBA,
Right.
and
Six foot
he can run
ten.
right. And he can run the break. And if he just developed a little jump hook, he would be unstoppable. Like if he the jump hook and free throws, he would be unstoppable. And I think sometimes the cause he said is mental health issues. Sometimes the mental health issues, if you just change your scenery, things will change up for you. Now, if you flip it out over to the other side, James Harden, he wishy washy. Like these past couple of years, he been wishy washy. Always got a hamstring issue, and he never played with a big man like Joel Embiid. Like Joel Embiid want to post up, he want to get touches in the post. He don't want to pick and roll. That's not his game. So, and James Harden, as soon as he get in a situation where he don't feel comfortable, he gonna want out. So I don't know how that's gonna work in Philly. Like if it comes to that, like I think right now Philly probably would be the better team because of everything that's going on in Brooklyn. Like have had the mandate been lifted and Kyrie can play every game, I would say
Ooh.
right now Brooklyn is the better team. But I don't think so. I think this season is more Philly time to take advantage of the trade. But in the long run, I think the Nets want
I think I have to disagree with you on this one.
it. Okay.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that the Brooklyn Nets won this trade.
Okay.
You got a hidden gem,
Mhm.
Steph Curry, knocked
Oh
down
yeah, I
shooters,
didn't even mention him. Yeah, or Drummond.
knocked down shooters, drumming in the paint. He's catching oops. The game will be
Mhm.
more easier for the Brooklyn Nets. What else y'all keep forgetting? One of my favorite guys I do like to watch, Patty Mills.
Patty.
If you had to name it right now, a 6 man off the bench, pretty much it's a two-way race between him and Kevin Love.
Okay. Or Tyler Hero. You got to throw in the
Tyler,
hero.
uh, the reason I say no because he come up missing a lot in certain key game situations. When I look at Patty Mills, he stepped up huge for Kyrie Irving.
Mhm.
He's the reason why I'm gonna say the Brooklyn Nets is still keeping their heads above water in that playoff race right there. But once Kevin Durant come back and you got Kyrie Irving getting lifted off that restriction,
Mhm.
like Charles Barkley said, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, that team is going to be hell.
Yep.
You got Kyrie Irving, the master of the ball.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna have Patty Mills shooting that rock. Then you're gonna have Steph Curry. Oh man,
Steph.
like I said, you got the best player in the world, Kevin Durant.
Right.
So
Kevin Durant. That's the key. Kevin Durant.
if Kevin Durant come back as half the player that he was off that injury, man, KD, Patty Mills. Remember, Patty. One thing that people will never give these three guys credit for: Patty Mills, Steph Curry, and Kyrie Irving. They play defense.
Mhm.
They definitely play defense. And the reason I like the Patty Mills fit for them, he has championship DNA.
Yep. That Spurs culture is all running through his veins.
Right. Look, Kyrie Irving, championship DNA, game winning shots. Patty Mills had hit some game winning shots in
Mhm.
championship runs. Kevin Durant, a two-time finals MVP, knows what it takes to win a championship. So when people talk about, oh, he went to the Golden State Warriors and got a free ride to the ring. The last time I checked, Steph Curry never been a Finals MVP. Iggy,
Oh, Iggy.
no, Iggy. Remember they won
Mhm.
three. Iggy
Yeah.
and two went to KD.
Oh yeah, you're right. The only MVP he got was that All Star game just this
Right,
past this past
right.
weekend.
So I look at the Brooklyn Nets makeup. I'll be honest with you, man. Shout out to my boy Skip, man. Not Skip Bayless, but my homeboy Skip back in Ohio. This for you, big dog. We talk about it all the time through Instagram message. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Steve Nash is a horrible coach.
Oh, you don't think you ain't with Steve? Oh no.
Just because you're a point guard make you a great coach.
That's true. I agree with that.
I mean, a couple of them succeeded at the point guard spot, been good coaches. We can go with one like Lenny Wilkins, who's been a good coach at the point guard spot. I'm missing one. I'm missing another coach. I can't even say Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers okay as a coach. Doc Rivers can't get his team over the hump.
Yeah, all right.
Because I know who blew 3-1 leads 3 times in his career.
I'm trying to think. Was it from Boston? Old
Avery
coach.
Johnson, Avery Johnson was a good coach for at the point guard position.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Kidd is subpar, but when I'm looking at coaches, most point guard coaches, they're not that good. But I'm gonna call it what it is. Steve Nash is a great coach. Substitution flaws is horrible. He don't know how to call the right timeout. He don't know where to take the big man out the game to catch a breather. I'm looking at different things that Steve Nash does. I don't feel like he doesn't benefit enough of what he got on the floor.
Yeah.
Sometimes he had too many shooters out there and they get lost because they start jacking up threes. You got to know to make that the right substitution. And you got another defensive specialist on your team in James Johnson. You don't even use him that way.
James Johnson, the Jiu-Jitsu warrior.
No. As we talk about the Brooklyn Nets now, we're going to the Philadelphia 76ers. Like you said, James Harden. I'll call him James Hammy Harden. Because every year when you need him the most, like you said, he is the hamstring man.
It's weak.
It's weak. James Harden, the only person I know who has a fat suit on and he lose weight. Like I said, you can tell he don't have the best condition. Anybody can shoot. If you look at James Harden when he was in OKC for the first 4 years, lean, get to the basket, get to where he wanted to go. He still can't get where he wanted to go. He's more heavier. Heavy. I can see the belly through the jersey. James Harden.
He's out of shape.
Hey, rest in peace to Bean. Kobe Bryant said, the way James Harden played, you cannot win a championship with that type of style of play.
He called it. The Bean knew.
The Bean knew. Kobe in heaven looking like, you know what, you right, Wiggs. That way. I never seen a guy who always looking for fouls.
Right, that rule change messed him up at the beginning of the season.
He couldn't hit nothing.
Right, he was looking for fouls, wasn't getting them. He was confused. They're like, James, we changed the rules, man. We ain't giving you these no more.
Now he got James Harden doing a 3-step step back shot, and he's shooting air balls. So we don't need that. We don't need that. Is it enough for Philadelphia? Can the Philadelphia 76ers get to the Eastern Conference Finals? They can, but it's going to be a tough road because the team that everybody keep not talking about is getting lost in all this is the Milwaukee Bucks.
But
this is
defending champs.
This is the defending championship team that gets no respect. I hear nobody's not even talking about them on TV. It's either Philadelphia, the Bulls, or the Brooklyn Nets,
or Phoenix, because they Phoenix is making them talk about them because of their record.
Right. When I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns, I like Devin Booker. Sometimes Devin Booker can go missing. No, I like he don't.
He do have moments.
D-Book have moments where he go missing and he give you 5-6 games. He put on 25 plus. He reminds me of another guy who goes missing. He's in the East Coast. Jason Tatum. Another one.
He go missing too. He go missing too. And just like Book, he had moments where, like, dang, where's Jason Tatum? And then he'll have 5 games where he hit like 30. But the thing with him is he got a running mate in Jaylen Brown that's maybe not quite as good, but he's really good. So he got to share that load, and I really don't think they figured that out yet. Everybody kind of say they two like they like a dynamic duo,
Like you
but I
said,
think it's more his turn, my turn, and it don't really mesh that well. But as of late, though, they went on a little streak. They've been kind of clicking, and I think it's because Marcus Smart been playing like a point guard and not like
a
a shooting
scoring.
guard. Yeah.
I think I think with Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, like you tell everybody, they're the same player. They are the same player. They're the same. They get the same type of style. But
Mhm.
Jalen Brown is more of a defensive specialist than anything.
Right.
The whole thing when it comes down to the end of the season, we know the cornerstone of the Boston Celtics is Jason Tatum. Do you feel like Jalen Brown may get shot at the end of the season? Because
Um,
they need to focus their attention on one of these two guys.
I can agree with. I mean, it depends on how the season go. I
Uh,
mean, if it end, I mean, like how it started, somebody getting shot, and more than likely it's going to be Jalen Brown. But if they continue on with their current success streak, I think they'll both stay there, and then Marcus Smart or somebody else will get traded.
I do like the pickup they got though, Devin White
Oh yeah,
from the
Devin White,
Spurs.
another Spurs guy.
So you look at that, I do believe some they're gonna make a move. You got to make a move
Mm-hmm.
because this is you get the same core three guys on your team that been in the Eastern Conference Finals. They've been in the semifinals. They cannot get over the hump because, like you said, Marcus, it's only one ball, and it's like they if Jalen Brown come hit two threes, Tatum try to do the same thing, or vice versa. Like you said, there's no
Right.
continuity. It's like they gotta pick and choose who they're gonna pass the ball to. Like you said, they take turns and it throws a loop into their offense. So like I
Right.
said, when I'm sitting down and watch the Celtics play, they don't have the word I'm searching for, they have no identity.
Right.
That's where the troubling part come in when I look at a team like the Boston Celtics. How can they get over the hump? How can they go to the next level of being great? When you're looking at the Boston Celtics in the East, right? Right now, they sit in the sixth place, 34 and 26, right?
Right.
And you're looking at the team behind the Toronto Raptors. The Brooklyn Nets is 31. Like I said, once Brooklyn figured everything out, the East is so compact. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing but a half or 2.5 game spot from first place.
Separated.
And
Yep.
all Brooklyn got to do is go to 5 game winning streak, and they right in first place.
And that'll be if KD back, that's easy.
Right.
I don't know how tough their schedule is remaining, but if KD in the lineup, that's an easy thing.
And as we break everything down, when you go around the NBA, it's been a good season. A good season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me your two surprising teams, one from each conference.
Oh, that's easy. Of course, the Cleveland Cavaliers
Uh-huh.
from the East, and
Uh-huh.
then the Memphis Grizzlies on the West. I think they both surprised the league, and they're not playing the same way all our other teams play, which is run and gun, jack threes. Cavs played basically with three big men on the floor with Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, and Laurie Marketing. Those are basically three big men. And then they come off the bench with a big man. They play more of a traditional style of basketball. Same with the Memphis Grizzlies. Like they're not the best 3-point shooting team. Uh, Josh is a highlight reel in itself. But even when he been hurt, they won again. I think they like well above 500 when he don't play. So and what's good for both teams is their defense.
Oh,
Memphis
yeah.
Grizzlies is good
Hey,
at forcing turnovers, and the Cavs protecting the paint with the two bigs down there.
and the crazy thing is, what make this is one thing I think people not talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. This team goes on the road. They're 21-9.
Mm-hmm.
That is a heck of a record
Mm-hmm.
for that's for a young team.
Yep.
That's a young team. like you said, Marcus, that team plays defense. They go as their leader goes, John Morant, which helped them out. I think Jaren Jackson been playing great. But once they get Dylan Brooks back too, we're
Right,
gonna
he
see
ain't even been playing.
we're gonna
Right.
see we're gonna see another change. We're gonna see another
Mhm.
change. What's the guy named Desmond Bain?
Desmond Bain, he was in a 3-point contest.
Great defender guy.
Hmm.
Great defender guy. And I think everything come together, they all mesh well. And not only they 29 at home, in their last 10 games, they 8-2. This is a very high competitive team. Uh, and especially in the conference, you winning 28 games in your conference. That is huge too, because that lets you know we can run with the best of them. The Memphis Grizzlies can run with the best of them. It's looking like
Hmm.
that old team back with Zebo on them when they had their little run. It's giving me glimpses of that Mike Colony and my other
Yeah,
guy. I love who was his name? Tony Allen,
Tony Allen.
defensive anchor. And then you said the Cavaliers is one of your surprising teams too. So I look at the Cavaliers, like I said, JB Bickerstaff, man.
Hmm.
Coach's honor. Nobody had the Cavaliers this high up winning this many games. Not
Not
I'm
at
yelling
all.
at you. I can't even sit up here and say, hey, the Cavs gonna win 40 games. No, I did not. I think coming in before we stopped doing the pod and we took that time off, just sitting back analyzing the Cavaliers, I said, wow, this team is really good. This team plays for each other. Just like the Memphis Grizzlies do. They pretty much identical in what they do out there on the floor with their big man and how everybody feeds off each other's energy. And the crazy thing is this young and rejuvenated Cavaliers team brought back Kevin Love from the dead.
Hmm. They sure
Remember,
did.
remember this guy was complaining about leaving. Like, get
Hmm.
me out of here. All of a sudden, it's a complete 360. We always said the best remedy for a team is winning. You can't buy this
Absolutely.
at the store. This is not Dominic. This is not Domitap. This is not Advil.
Down.
This is not ibuprofen. This is called winning, trusting your brother, trusting the system. If you trust the system, good things was going to happen. When you look at the Cavaliers, they're 7-3 in their division. That's good. 20-13 in their conference. They 18-9 at home. 17-4 in a row. In their last 10 games, they 6-4. They lost 2 games. Be going into the break. Which they lost those 2 games. I thought going into the break would be cool because now they can sit down, they can recalculate things and see how can they get that winning ways back. Now, Marcus, with that being said, your 2 teams that surprise you and where they represent, where they at in the standings. The 2 teams that you thought would be better, but they're not, where they should be at.
Was so right now it's the Brooklyn Nets.
Mm-hmm.
What they in, like 7th or 8th?
They in 8th place, 31-2
Then 8th
games.
place. I thought they would be a whole lot better, but then I didn't know Kyrie was going to play half the games. I expected Kyrie to miss games because since what, man, for the last 4 years, he's missed games for some reason or another. I mean, people forget last year he just left the team for no reason, didn't tell nobody, no call, no show.
Oh,
So I was
like
expecting him to
months in the
miss
absence.
games, just not half of them. uh, and who else on I want to say the Lakers. It's not.
You got to go with the Lakers. So this is a big disappointment.
I mean, they too far down. I mean, I expected them to be. I didn't expect them to be a top seed, but I thought they would at least be in the
4 or 5.
playoffs. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the playoffs.
You see they
So
payroll?
I guess that's the second team. Yeah.
That payroll like the Mega Millions.
I mean, I just wasn't it because they. I mean, their average age is like our age.
36 plus.
Right.
I think they are the oldest team in the league.
And that's crazy. I knew that wasn't gonna get it unless they, Tyler Horton Tucker or Monk took like a huge leap, and THT hasn't. Monk, I would say, he hasn't taken the leap. He just kind of been playing as expected. But I think those 2 young guys, like they had to move the meter along with AD. That's really the real reason.
Right.
Is AD's been hurt. I feel like if he had been healthy the whole season, they would be the 6th or 7 seed like right now. But since AD ain't been healthy, I mean everything went down the drain.
Mm. I, I like that. I think my biggest disappointment in the East, to me, I'm going to go with the New York Knicks.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
The reason I'm saying this, like, basketball is definitely good if the Knicks is winning because not
Hmm.
only you play the playoffs, you're gonna get the New Yorker views for your team in your market. So when
Yep.
I think of the Knicks being bad this year, what happened to Julius Randle? He took a step back.
I mean, he ain't been all right since the playoffs, since the Atlanta playoff series. Um, uh, Nate McMillan had the scheme to expose him, and it just kind of carried over to the season. Like he ain't been the same. Like he had a couple moments where like I thought he had it. Like he back to last year's Julius Randle, but then he turned back to a pumpkin. I
Right.
don't know what's going on with him.
I'm gonna tell you right now, but a comparison. I always call him the poor man Zach Randolph. They both lefties. They're not the
Yep.
quickest. They strong out the perimeter, but Zebo is a better basketball player than Julius Randle. Now, if you want to compare the game, he should be calling Zebo like, "How do I move on this block?" Zebo can score on the block.
Yeah, that's true.
He can't. He settled
No,
for.
it ain't there.
I think Julius Randle main thing is what I see he do a lot. He take a lot of threes when he don't need to.
Yeah, he felt. I mean, like last year. So last year, fans wasn't in the stands for a good portion of the season. So the shooting, people don't get this. When you shooting and fans, and
It's
you're not a
hell.
shooter, the fans can affect your shot.
Right.
So there's nobody in the stands. So he had his best shooting season ever last year with no fans in the stands. So
Just
now the
like
fans
Tyler
is
Hero.
back. Right. Now the fans is back and his jumper off. I don't think that's a coincidence. So I think he need to stick to what he was doing well before he started shooting them threes last season, which was mid
Always,
range.
I always say it too with guys that shoot too many threes. If you're not Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, please don't shoot the rock. These guys need to be on the shooting timer. Hey, Julius, you only can take 4 threes a game. Pick and choose them wisely, other than the game winner.
Right.
And I
No
think
game.
everybody's falling in love with the 3 pointer, which making the big man a lost art. Look at the master of the mid range. Who is it? Remember, at one time it used to be Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller.
I would say it's DeMar DeRozan
It's DeMar DeRozan.
or
Man,
Chris Paul. One,
no,
one and two.
they are different.
Mhm.
The New York Knicks got a lot of homework to do. I mean, like I said, Julius Randle took a huge step back. They went from last year, I think there was no more, I think it was like a fourth seed. Fourth of yeah, there's a fourth
Mhm.
seed. They had a home playoff game. So you look at us being a fourth seed and they dropped all the way down to 12.
That's crazy.
That's tough. That's tough. I'm
Hmm.
gonna say that's the coaching fault too. Thibodeau.
He's known to
Because
run players into the ground. Tips.
man, Kemba Walker, they told him to sit down for the rest of the season, which they not gonna play him no more.
Just take a seat.
Take a seat. We're gonna pay you to sit down.
Right.
You're just gonna do that. And you
You
knew it
might
was
as
a
well release
trade.
him.
Right. You had a trade deadline 2 weeks ago. You should just traded him away for some assets. Don't let the guy
Hmm.
sit on the bench. Get some pieces that are gonna help you for the future for now. That's what I feel to realize where the New York Knicks messed up in the organization. That's why certain players don't want to come there because what the coaches in the front office has been doing. The front office hasn't been right since 1999 with the famous LJ shot. That's the last time I've really seen that Knick crowd go crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they had that 1 year with Melo.
Oh, they had a good year. They
Um,
had a good run with Melo, but Knick basketball hasn't been the same really since 1999 2000 season. And that was the
right.
NBA lockout season right there when they played like 50 games.
Right. They went to the finals. That was the last time they've
Finals.
been, if I'm
They got
not
legitimate.
mistaken.
Yeah, they got legitimate sweat. Now, like you said, when I look at other teams how they progressing, I'm gonna tell you. I got a disappointed player that I want to talk about. I always told people about this. You know, we're gonna talk about the New Orleans Pelicans.
Hmm.
Zion Williamson. I don't know the guy. Only thing I gotta say is
Zion.
watching him in the Mountain Dew commercial, he looked like he looked pretty hefty, my guy.
Hefty,
He
hefty, hefty.
looked pretty good. And the one person I want to get a shout out to is Charles Barkley. He said when he got drafted, if New Orleans, if you're gonna take Zion, make sure you give him a nutritionist. And everybody saying Charles was being a hater. Y'all forget that Charles Barkley used to be on the big guy side and had
Right.
to lose weight. Chuck, great basketball years in his first half of his career in the Phoenix, I mean, not the Phoenix Suns, but the Philadelphia 76ers, he didn't start losing that weight and became the player that he was once he got to Phoenix.
Right.
That's how he became the season MVP. This is how he did things. Like Chuck can talk the talk and walk the walk.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so crazy that Shaq criticized Charles Barkley about weight, but Charles Barkley knew what it takes to lose weight. Kobe, rest in peace, being again another Kobeism. Kobe told Shaq, hey, man, if you lose about 20, 30 pounds, man, we can make a run at this thing. We probably can win another 3 or 4. He didn't want to do it that way.
Right. He want to get in shape during the season, a la James Harden.
Right. Shaq and them, everybody do their own thing, but in order to be great in this league, you gotta be able to take constructive criticism to be on that level. Zion does have what it takes. If I could rewind back to about 50 pods ago, Marcus, and I told you the player that probably won't last in the league probably about for 7 to 8 years would be Zion.
Right.
All that dunking is cool.
Mhm.
I knew something was a problem with him, the way he shoots the ball. I knew something was up with his foot.
Right.
He don't have the same, he don't lift, he don't jump as high enough when he shoots the rock. When you're looking at Zion has not met with CJ McCollum since the trade. He has not talked to David Griffin.
that disrespect.
Is this part
CJ
two,
don't deserve that.
is this part two of another Ben Simmons type move?
I don't think so. I think he gonna at least play his contract out. He may leave, but he gonna at least play his contract out. He ain't just gonna go home and be like, I ain't playing.
Right.
I don't think he'll do that. I think once he's healthy, or he may never get healthy on purpose. So that's kind of Ben Simmons ish.
So if you had to go out on a limb, what team you could see Zion playing for?
If he was to switch teams, oh man, that's I don't know. It's kind of hard to place him because the whole weight. I mean, let's say in shape Zion. I think he'd be good with somebody like Luka. Like instead of they just traded Porzingis. I think Luka and Zion will be terrific together. Zion, have somebody can pass. He won't have to make the game-winning shots and nothing like that. I think that's probably the best place for him. I'm trying to think of a team on the East. Just none really fit. The Knicks. I mean, that's the market for him. That's the market for him.
He could run with his guy, RJ.
I mean, they just trade him for Randall. And then reunite RJ and okay, yeah, I actually like that. That's
back to New Orleans.
Yeah, send them right back.
All right. Before we wrap this pod up, we're gonna go down and say who we think should going to be the. We're gonna pick out our top 3 guys for the MVP. We're gonna pick out who's gonna be a rookie of the year, coach of the year, and 6-man. So Marcus, I'll let you do the honors of picking who you think your top 3 the MVP guys should be.
So I think it's Nikola Jokic,
okay,
and Joel Embiid, 1, 2. Number 3, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with DeMar DeRozan for number 3, because I think Zach LaVine been out. Lonzo Ball been out, Caruso been out, and they still second place in the East. I mean, when the Cavs played them, the Rosen couldn't miss. He finally got his revenge on the Cavs. He had like 30 something. And he been doing that consistently, and the main reason why they, I think, still in the top of the East. So
I do like the Joker. I got everybody hip to the Joker. My father-in-law said if it weren't for me, he would never know who Nikola Jokic is. Remember, I always called him the poor man's Junior Ogauskas, but probably better.
yeah, no,
Better.
he didn't changed it
Um,
up.
I'm gonna definitely say Jokic, number one. He's doing this with no glitch.
Nope.
He's not there. It's a possible he come back during the season. So if you get him to come back, that's
I mean, he basically averaged a triple. I mean, the Joker almost averaged a triple double. Like that's crazy.
man, that is crazy because he's doing it with guys like Aaron Gordon, Capazzo, Willie Barton, like Monte Morris. Michael Porter Jr. is out with the bad back. And you got Jamal Murray out. So you're looking at key guys that they need. He's still holding up. I'm gonna say Jokic for me. That's number one. I'm gonna say I'm gonna keep saying it, man. Give my guy his flowers, man. Chris Paul.
You put him in there. Last year, you was saying he need to be in there. Chris Paul again.
40,
Okay.
Marcus, 48-10, bro. That's their
Best
record.
team in the league. Best team in the league.
28-7 at home. Another person, I see Jokic, I said Chris Paul. Of course, I'm gonna say DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan broke a Wilt Chamberlain record. He broke a Michael Jordan record. When you start getting mentioned with some of the top 75 greatest players in NBA history, and you're breaking their records, that Wilt Chamberlain record was there for. That's like a 50-year-old record.
Mm-hmm.
Another person I'm gonna say too that I'm gonna have a little love for the MVP side. I'm gonna be honest, man. I gotta sit up for this one. I'm gonna say Steph Curry.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't mad. I mean, I don't think statistically he having his best year, but they the second best team in the West
42
in the league.
Yeah, 42-17 in the league. And not only what I like about it, Steve Kerr is a point guard coach. And like I said, Steve, look at this. Two Steves. One is good and one is bad. Steve Kerr is good.
Nash.
Steve Nash is horrible as a coach. Steph Kerr plays to his strengths of his team.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Poole, Tusano.
I didn't know those guys until, I just started to get to know them last year. But this year, they like, those is real NBA players.
And look, and Wisdom not even back yet. Draymond
not back. Or Wiseman.
Wiseman. And they got Wisdom on restricted minutes. Klay Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Once those guys all come back within the next night, man, come on. Like I said, I wouldn't even be shocked if the Golden State Warriors win the NBA championship. Let's be honest, that's one hell of a team that team should be scared of. Not only got to worry about Steph shooting threes or Klay come off the pit, you got to worry about the Glove Jr., Gary Payton II.
The first time All-Star Andrew Wiggins. All-Star starter. All-Star starter.
Let's get it correct. All-Star starter Andrew Wiggins, aka Puma from Black Ink. So it all worked out for the best. When the Cavs traded away from Kevin Love, people wrote Andrew Wiggins off. Andrew Wiggins got in the gym room. Andrew Wiggins put on 10 pounds of muscle weight. Andrew Wiggins perfected his three-point shooting shot. Andrew Wiggins played with his back towards the basket. When you talk about most improved player, he could be mentioned with the most improved player.
Yep.
How can't you not? 6 man a year. I'm gonna say 3-6. I'm gonna say MVP, Jokic, Chris Paul, DeMar DeRozan, and like I said, dark horse Steph Curry. But now, switching gears, 6 man a year. Who you think are your top two choices for 6 man a year?
So gotta stick with the home thing. Gotta go with Kevin Love. Rejuvenation. The
Right.
Renaissance year, Kevin Love.
Renaissance, man, inspirational,
Right.
inspirational basketball. What Austin Carr say? Deep in Roto Field.
Right. Yep. So number 2, I'm gonna go with Tyler Hero for number 2. He's averaging 20 points off the bench.
Okay, cool.
And number 3, we just talked about him. You just talked about the other 6 man. I'm just
Who Pat?
name that
Who? Who? Patty Mills.
Patty Mills. That's my number 3.
Should have mentioned.
Especially if and when Kevin Durant come back, he's really gonna snap in there. Unless they start, I don't know if he that's the thing with Patty Mills though. I don't know if he started enough games where he won't be qualified for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that's the case, and then I gotta rethink that. I don't know who the third person would be, but definitely Tyler Hero, Kevin Love.
I'm going to say this. Mine would be Kevin Love. Patty Mills been playing stellar basketball. Stellar basketball. The third one for me always been tough because I'm gonna say Kevin Love, Patty Mills. I'm gonna say this. This might be a good one. I'm gonna say Malik Monk
Okay.
as a
I think
six
if they
man.
make the playoffs, he for sure
He
will get some look.
definitely does a lot. Well, like I said, I know he can shoot the three. We know he can do that. We know Ahmad can do that. That's his name, Ahmad. We know he could do that. But the one thing they're not talking about him too, especially on the defensive end, he actually been buckling down, playing defense. I didn't see him play that much defense in Charlotte because he wasn't getting enough playing time where he can
Right.
to be effective on the court as
Charlotte
well.
or Kentucky, for that
Yeah,
matter.
those are my 3 guys.
Okay.
We said rookie of the year. Who do you think is your rookie of the year?
I don't even think this is a question. Got to stay in Cleveland again. Evan Mobley. I don't think nobody's even. I'll name 3 guys just because that's what we're doing. But so Evan Mobley, Kay Cunningham, Scotty Barnes. No, not Scotty Barnes. What's his name? Giddy from OKC. That'll be my.
Hey
Yeah.
man, low key great player. Low key great player. He reminds me of another Luka Doncic. Triple double. I think that 10 triple doubles already under his belt this year. It's just the market he's playing in. If he keep playing like that, he's gonna make it where they had to go trade SGA.
I mean, they're gonna have to do something unless SGA gonna turn into master facilitator, which don't seem like that's his game. I mean, he had the tutelage of Chris Paul, so he could.
Mine is going to be Evan Mobley, Kay Cunningham. I like Scotty Barnes' game. I do it because he played under the basket a lot. He just showed me something a little different on All-Star Weekend, missing 6 layups in a row.
Oh man, we was in the stands dying.
Evan Mobley, I looked at his game, and like I said, the crazy thing was, I looked at his game because I've been watching him when he's playing at USC. I was like, yo, he got a nice little game. He remind me of a solid Tim Duncan in the post, right? But he got the Chris Bosh shooting setup type game.
Mm-hmm.
The guy can shoot basketball, but the one thing I do like about him, he played every game like it's his last. He knows the games.
Mm-hmm.
If he could just bulk up another 20 pounds, we got something special.
Yep.
We got something special. And I commend to Adam Silver for saying the Cavaliers are building a super team the right way. I said,
Yep.
taking shots.
That's a huge nod.
So I like what the Cavaliers doing. First and foremost, we get a player's respect, man. That's all front office, man. We was on here. Remember, we was talking crazy about Kobe Altman, and look what he's doing right now. He's looking like he could be in the running for the GM of the year.
Yep, he sure could. I mean, even some at the beginning of the season, I was saying trade Kevin Love and Cedi Osman. Both of those guys is like the key to the bench, and he kept them. I mean, some maybe out of because he couldn't deal them, but he stuck in there. Now he's looking like a genius.
He's looking really good. Shout out to Kobe Altman for promoting Mike Gansky into the other part of GM role too. He's a hometown native too.
Yeah.
Mike G is. I think the Cavaliers is on to greatness. I think they have enough what it takes. I give the Cavs like a year or two, they should be competing for a championship if they keep the core together. You got Jared Allen, you secure them for 5 year, 100 million. Next on the plate, you got Colin Sexton should be coming back from injury. So where do he fit into this? Do you keep him? Do you trade him? Do he buy into his new role?
I mean, it's so now it's like a three-man thing for that. Like somebody got to come off the bench, somebody got to start, somebody got to get traded. And the reason why I say it's three because he got Karis LeVert now. So I think he's, believe it or not, I think he's the only person that may have a more secure spot on the team than even Isaac Okoro and Colin Sexton. So I think Karis is there. Whether he started or not, I don't know. I think you got to make a decision. You're going to either stick with Isaac Okoro and hope he turn into like one of the better two-way players, or you're going to go with Colin Sexton and continue to ride his development as an offensive player and hope it comes along defense. I think on the defensive side of the ball, he has some room to grow. I think offensively, he has progressed far beyond what, because I went to the first game of his rookie season and Trae Young ate him up. He had like 30 and 15.
Abused the boy.
Abused him. And then, go flip to the end of the season that same year, he had even improved in to where they was kind of going head to head. So I think you either gonna bet on Colin Sexton or Isaac Okoro. I think that's the decision. I like both players, so or you trade somebody else. You trade Lauri Markkanen and then keep all three of those guys. I don't know.
I was looking at it too. I'm gonna say this. This is Jay-Z. It's like a Jay-Z album or something. It's the gift and the curse. The gift was that we actually seen the full potential of Darius Garland.
Mm-hmm.
The curse is where Colin Sexton got hurt. If Colin Sexton would never got hurt, we would never know how good Darius Garland was. Remember, Darius Garland got hurt in college playing against Kent State with the leg injury.
Yep.
So remember, and then on
it's
draft
funny how
night,
that
it's funny how that worked out. He was arguably considered the best shooter in the country from 3-point land. I said, how they say that? We haven't seen him play that many games. Now, fast forward 2.5 years later, look at him in the All-Star. Putting up All-Star numbers, shooting the 3 ball at a career high clip, known to take over games. Shout out to his dad, Mr. Winston Garland, who got his son prepared and prepped to take the next level. As you see from Darius' rookie year, how skinny he was, this year, put on some leg weight, put on some upper body strength. And the whole thing is perfecting your craft. And like I said, we never knew how good Darius was if it wasn't for the Colin Sexton injury. So when he do come back from injury, I just want to know will he buy in to the team? Is he going to come off the bench? Can he be the new Lou Will?
I think he again, it depends on this. If they continue to have success, he ain't gonna have no choice. I do think he a player that values winning. So if it means winning, I think he'd be down for it. But if for some reason this falls apart,
two
clutch guys too. If this falls apart and the Cavs go in the stinker, he's not gonna come off the bench. He's gonna say, "Y'all need me." That's gonna be his mindset. Like, had I been there, y'all had another ball handler, we would have been the top of the East.
Do you think how much is Colin Sexton worth on the trade side? Is he worth the first round, early first round, late second round, early first round, late first round, or second round draft pick period? Or
I think he an early first, maybe even lottery worthy pick. I think he was a lottery pick himself. So I think he's about a lottery early first round pick. not two first, but one early first
I'm,
round
I'm
pick.
gonna, I'm going to get Colin this much credit. Before the injury, right? The week leading up to the injury, I'm saying like 2 weeks before that injury. Can you see that his game was turning and buying into the system? He was trusting the
Yeah.
system more
He
as
was
well.
playing
Like
off the ball.
he's
Yep.
passing the ball, he's making that extra pass. We've seen games where Colin Saxon will be on a fast break and don't reward the big man. Now you've seen lately when he was doing that, he been a fast break the big man to stop running. So
Yep.
now he actually bought in like, yo, I can pass the rock to this big man. He's gonna throw it down. You gotta reward the big man. I see he was buying in more in the system, making. What shocked me was he was making an extra pass, passing up the worst shot for a good shot selection. So I seen the growth coming. But the whole thing is he's coming back from that injury. We know why he's eager to get back. He's playing for a contract extension.
hmm
So now we know.
Similar to another Cavalier. I mean, not a Cavalier, but Cleveland
Mhm.
um, sports athlete that was playing for a contract and wouldn't sit down during the season.
Are you,
I'm not gonna name names.
are you talking about Baker Mayfield, the touchdown?
Not gonna name names.
Anyways, ain't gonna name names. A lot of guys, like I said, I understand you want to be a tough competitor, but it's not the '80s. You gotta realize back in the '80s and stuff like that, they didn't have the medical staff that these new guys got.
Mhm.
These guys talk about getting hyper chambers, ice chambers,
Mhm.
freezing their bodies for
Mhm.
3 hours, preserving the body. Look at LeBron James and Chris Paul. These guys spend almost $1.5 million to keep the body going, and it shows too that these guys are considered the old timers. These are the OGs of the league. You talk about these guys are 36 plus years old and still giving out the issue like toilet tissue. So when you're looking at these guys, they make up a model. Man, like I tell people may hate LeBron James and don't like his game. I mean, let's be honest, man. It's not gonna be another player like him that
Mhm.
we're going to see. Like this dude
Nope,
been
nope, nope.
averaging 26 points since he came into the league. And the one thing I do take about it, like, yo, I actually watched LeBron James pass up Wilt Chamberlain for the all-time
Mm.
scoring list. Like, it's just certain
That's
things
crazy.
that you appreciate about the game. I think when people watch basketball, I think they hate the players more than appreciate their craft. This goes
hmm
hand to hand. Dedication. Like LeBron never had a major injury besides the growing injury. And the crazy thing is, he never slowed down either once he came back and missed like 50 games. I think the most games he missed. And he came back like it was nothing. We see this guy sprain ankles and bounce back up and play basketball on a sprained ankle on
Right,
a bad ankle. The game an ankle that would keep you out for at least 2 to 3 weeks. We can't talk
right.
about Anthony Davis because he's out 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks, half the
Um,
season.
I, last thing I do want to say this before we go. I said that about 20 minutes ago. Marcus, how do you feel about the WNBA? The coaches making more than the players.
I mean, we kind of chatted about this before we started the pod, but they're the only um, league where that is the case. I mean, if you look at any other league, the coaches get paid well, yeah, but the players almost always get paid more than them. At least the the star players. Not every player in the NBA is getting paid more than the coach, but the star players typically do. And
Right.
I think it goes to show just they're not appreciated
That's what I
as,
say.
as they should
They
be.
disrespected. And the crazy thing is, I don't think they show enough of their games on TV either as well. They
Right.
second of all, they being disrespected. They playing their games in convocation centers. The gymnasium nobody don't want to go to. Like these are WNBA players. Most of these
Mhm.
new facilities have 4 locker rooms. Why these WNBA players cannot play in the regular NBA arena?
Mm. I mean, fans got to buy tickets for one, um, and they got to get more, marketing that's going to sell the tickets. I mean, you can't expect somebody to come to games if you never, advertise them.
Right.
I mean, the women's college basketball has no problems filling the seats. So it's something with the marketing strategy for the WNBA why they don't get games on TV and
I enjoy watching women's
more
college
fans in the
basketball.
stands.
They fundamentally sound. It's competitive. They all play defense. Let's be
Mhm.
honest. That's all right. I got a good comparison. People love the NBA because they shoot the thong ball and they dunk, right?
Right.
They don't play no defense. All their games is 100 something per high flying act. You look at the WNBA, them teams only be like 80, 90, or 70 at most. Like they still play defense, they still play tough, and they play for each other. And like I said, like you said, Marcus, it's bad marketing. You can't have a baseball game on Labor. You can't have a basketball WNBA game come on Labor Day. Oh yeah, then after that, after before the WNBA game, we're gonna have the LA Sparks playing against the Washington Mystic. Then at the same time, 30 minutes later, we want you to go to ESPN2. We get the New York Yankees playing against New York Mets, a Subway Series. Who do you think people want to choose? It's going to be the Subway Series. So they put them in a bad slot. You cannot have a WNBA game come on first, then you go down the dial. You get the Daytona 500 or
Right.
Bristol on, or you got the Ryder Cup. You got tennis on. Most of the time, most 9 out of 10, most people are going to turn to that tennis match. They're
Yeah.
going to turn to that race car match, and that's it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Marcus. You're gonna laugh at this one. I'm gonna get a better slot than the WNBA, the World Championship of Tag. What in the hell is that?
I don't even know what that is.
You never seen it on ESPN? They got pillow fighting championships on ESPN.
Oh my god. I mean, I seen it's I don't know if it's a new game or not, but they hit the ball like on this box,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can't think of the name of it, but I believe that has been on ESPN
They got
over a WNBA game
they got
before.
corn they got cornhole coming on at 1 o'clock. Yeah, followed by cornhole will be the WNBA. We got the Utah Stars going up against the Sacramento Monarchs. Sorry, guys. I know y'all say those teams don't exist. I just did not show my age. The Sacramento
Mhm.
Monarchs don't exist no more. And definitely Utah Stars don't exist. But that's what I'm referring to. The women's game is being that disrespected. Like you got girls that play high school basketball and their games come on at 9 o'clock at night. Most people not gonna watch a women's 9 o'clock game, but they watch a Lakers game at 9 o'clock. They'll watch a
Yeah.
Warriors game. All I'm asking for is a better time selection for them. You cannot put them on a Thursday night, a WNBA game on Thursday night on NBA TV. They have a game Thursday night on TNT. I'm going to pick TNT. They gotta get a better concept. Have a WNBA game come on a Monday when people come home from work, unwind down, and we got a game come on at 7 o'clock. That's a prime time slot right there. A Tuesday night where the sports world is not that heavy on a Tuesday. Throw a WNBA game there. You throw them on the back burner on a Wednesday night. Nobody don't care for Wednesday. That's the middle of the week. People are getting up, getting ready to go to work. And you put them on a Friday night. They don't even do that no more. So they had to switch up to the NBA. You see, TNT got games coming on Tuesday now. They got
Yep.
smart. Let's put a game on Tuesday because guess what? We got everybody fully attention.
Hmm.
They're not doing that for the WNBA. We're gonna have y'all come on a Saturday, 1 June, where it's hot outside. Nobody not watching that. All
Nobody in the
about
house.
somebody has all about marketing. Hey Marcus, you got anything else you want to talk about before we skedaddle out of here?
Uh, don't be surprised if the Cavaliers make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, especially if the New York State don't change that mandate. That's look out for the Cavs, the Eastern Conference Finals. That's if Kyrie can't play all the games.
They do got a recipe. I feel for some reason after this All-Star break, I got two teams that's going to turn on the switch, and people gonna laugh at me. I got two teams that are going to turn the switch on. I'm going to say the Los Angeles Clippers. It's possible that they get Paul George back in a couple of weeks
and
and
Kawhi
Kawhi.
Leonard.
So remember, the Clippers right now is in 8th place, 30-31. So if those two come back, that could be crazy because I think Reggie Jackson been doing a nice job of holding the team down as well at that point guard spot. Another team who may turn the switch on, look out for the Lakers too as well, but it's going to be hard for them to catch everybody. I'm looking at the Utah Jazz doing some great work. The Memphis Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors. You're not catching Phoenix and Golden State. The most the Lakers can actually do at best is move up in sixth place, but they got to take continuity. How they going to do it? I'm looking for this team to take in the East to take another leap. I'm going to say the Brooklyn Nets, like you said, if they take that mandate down. I can see some teams jockeying for space. I can see the Boston Celtics may fall out that top 6 seed and go into like an 8th or 9th seed and play for a play-in game. It's just different things I definitely want to see. Anything else, Marcus?
No, that's my things to look out for the
Those
evening.
are those are cold hard facts and no Coors Light, baby, no sponsor. But y'all know who it is. I thank y'all for tuning in. This podcast has been a long time awaiting. This is your
Yes, sir.
host, Tay Wiggs.
This is Mark Senior.
This is After Hours Live from the Man Cave. We catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
Peace.